classified by different kind of options. So coding, user interface, graphics, VR, performance, math. And what I want for now, if you can vote or put something, and I can do it like create a voting. Okay. We can give 15 minutes. Yeah. And you can vote now. In theory, if you enter to the middle board and you go down, there's an option that you can vote. Okay. So the idea is to go to language and start trying to identify which is your experience in these languages. And experience means that at least you have one project doing with one of these tools of technologies or languages. For example, in my case, so I have experience in Scratch, but also in VBB and App Inventor, Python. So I start voting like this. Okay. Can you see all of you? The ones that are remote?
Yes, I see.
Perfect. So if you want to start like doing a quick review and voting in the place that you think that you have more experience, or at least one experience. Okay. And there's millions of options. And how I divide this, not depend on me, it depends on me, Jasper. It's the same webpage that you can find in the Fab Academy webpage, all the options here, but I put it in a middle row. And if you have some questions, you can discuss later. If you want to check what is, for example, FTDI, so go to the webpage and go to the FTDI and click, you will see it's the chip that we are using in some of the electronics, PCBs. Okay. So for now, try to vote, and we are going to spend 10 minutes more or less.
Ja. Comença.
Ja,
Aquesta és la que ara m'està dient que s'han queixat.
There's many options. Take your time. Morning. I didn't mention, but you have 10 votes. Okay, so try to choose the one that you have more experience.
But is it like mobile?
No, it's like mobile.
Yeah, no, product.
Okay. That's
For the ones that are right now, we're doing like a checking which is your experience in some of the technologies that you can use for the interface and application. And week, there's many options. So try to vote the one that you have more experience, or at least one experience. Okay. Also, in the middle one, I put an option, open questions. So if during the session you have questions, you can leave it here. And we'll try to answer today. If not, we can answer later. Okay. Yeah, the link is in the second bit, and also if you connect to the chat, I can share with you again. Don't worry, Jasmine, about if you have just experience in Arduino, it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Ines. Did you get the link? Yes. So the idea is take a look of all these technologies, okay, and try to vote or add an icon, something like this, for the ones that you at least have one experience. So in S, for example, if you have experience in C, go to C and put something. Okay. Yes. We still have 5 more minutes. Morning.
There was in the road, but
Just you create a web page for the academy.
I have the MDF web page, but it's a little bit sad, you know. I'm working.
You did it with HTML.
¿Cómo otra vez?
You did it with HTML. How you create the web page?
Oh, yes, I did a HTML on GitLab.
So then you have experience in HTML. I don't know if it's here, probably yes.
Oh, okay.
Here.
Okay, Thanks, Xavi.
Take a look, because the idea of this exercise is also take a look at the many options that you have. Okay.
The idea is not to feel like, wow, it's a lot of skills that I don't know.
Yeah. And don't be scared about this. We are here to learn. For example, tomorrow you are going to have a session with Joseph, I think, about processing Amplify. Okay. Also, I think that you have a session with Edu in the class about Firefly.
Xavi, I have a question. What is Panda? I just need to know for life.
In fact, I don't know what is Panda, but if you go to the web page and you find Panda, okay, so it's a kind of database. So you can imagine that you have a sensor and you want to save all this information in a database. You can do Panda, but also you can do Mongo or MySQL. So it's a way to interface with the information. So you have a sensor, you need to save it, you need to save it in one place, and you can use one of these technologies.
Oh, cool.
Okay. What else?
Do you want us to vote on this system?
What are you asking me? Okay, one more minute. Yeah. The mirror is in the link, is in the Hackathon link, okay? But also I can share in the chat again. Yes, cool. If you, the idea is to vote on these different technologies based on your experience. So, for example, if you have experience in Arduino, you can go to Arduino and put something here, like an icon, or both, whatever you want. And I'm sure that you have a lot of experience. And while you are doing this, hey, thank you. While you are doing this code, start thinking what is the application that you are going to do for this week. Okay. Start thinking about which is the information that you want to get, or you want to visualize, like if you have a sensor, or just you want to interact with all the open data, and try to identify which of the technologies can help you. Okay. So, for example, imagine my case, no? Today I want to use A-frame, okay? And then I can put it here, A-frame, and also App Inventor, because I want to connect A-frame with App Inventor. What else? We're going to use MQTT. What else? All this is going to be in a server made by Node.js. Okay. What else? Okay. In the deploy part, I'm putting all this information in an Amazon server. Okay. What else? I don't know. Mm. For now, that's all for me. So the idea is to have an iframe that is allocated in a Node.js server that is in an Amazon service. And we are going to communicate with the App Inventor through MQTT, that is a standard of messages. Okay. So you have now 5 minutes to imagine which is the idea that you want to prototype this week in terms of application, and then go to this technology, copy and paste, and create here, like which technology are you going to use. If you don't want, if you don't know which technology, start thinking and put like a sticker here and think, I'm thinking visualize data from sensors. Okay. But if you have a clear idea, try to prototype with the technology. Okay. I will want to spend 5 more minutes. Oh, and now the ones I can see that the most of you knows Arduino. No? This is nice. It's the basic one. Also have experience with HTML, open frameworks. Who knows open frameworks? Is someone from here? No. Who has experience with open frameworks? No?
No.
Nice. Okay, C++, Google Cloud. Yeah. The link is in the chat, but I can share again with you. Ah, okay, Carla, you know open framework. Perfect. It's super nice. Huh? If you want to vote, add a sticker or add an icon or something like this. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to share the link to the middle again. Yes. So the first link is the HackMD, where I put some links and references that we're going to use today. And the second link is the middle part. Okay. And now what we are doing is trying to imagine which application do you want to do this week, and start building like which are the connections between the different technologies and which is the area that you want to do this week. And of course, if you have questions on the right, I create these stickers so you can write your question here. By the way, good morning.
Buenos días.
Good morning. Jupyter, yeah. Take your time. Also, if you are curious about some of the technologies or the languages or tools, if you go to the Pub Academy webpage, you will find links for each of the technologies. Okay. We will do a quick review in 5 minutes, not all of them, but some of them. But for the future, you have here all the links. And super nice link is the first one, the Hello World. So if you don't know how to start with a language, you can go to the Hello World collection and you will find, you can choose the technology and you will see how to use it. Okay, this is another point. The Hello World is the first exercise that you do in each of the languages. And this web page is a collection of Hello Worlds of all the languages that exist. Okay. How's it going? Okay. Cool. Tomorrow is going to be a session with Josep about processing amplified. Okay. I will mention today, but tomorrow you can go more deep. You can go deeper in the technology. It's a good step. If you know a little bit of Arduino, processing is more or less the same. And P5 is super similar than processing. Yeah. While you are still thinking about the idea, this is a basic schema about how to think about how can I get data from a sensor and share this information. You need to think in which of the sensors are you going to use, if it's an input or it's an output. Okay. Also, how are you going to send this information? Probably you're going to have a PCB connected to a Wi-Fi router. Okay. Instead of Wi-Fi, you can use, depending, you have a mobile phone, you can connect by Bluetooth to the PCB to the mobile phone, and then use the mobile phone as a connector with the server. Okay. And also think if you're going to visualize this information in a web browser or not, or it's just an app. This is a super basic schema, but it's something that you need to see. Okay. And today, I'm not going to talk about security, but it's something that is also important. Because when you are managing data and you are taking this information from someone, it's important to think about the security and about the ethics that you're going to use with this information. So start thinking about this. Okay. Cool. We're going to have 5 more minutes and then we can start a little bit more in deep. Okay, for this question, I think that for Python, something easy, so user interface counter, this one. This one. Okay. Can be useful, at least if you don't have experience. This is a nice one, and there's a lot of documentation. One important decision when you are designing an application is which technology to use. In my experience, and my recommendation is to choose one technology that have at least a lot of community behind. So it's going to be live forever, not forever, but for a long time. And probably you have problems, you will find someone that has experience on this and can help you, and you can find documentation, good reference. So start with the most famous one. If you want to see like this. Okay. What else? In terms of languages, for example, if you know C or C++ or C#, you are close to go. I mean, you can do everything with this. But the level of knowledge that you need to have to control, it's quite difficult. So my recommendation is, if you don't have experience with C, don't start with C. But if you want to have a lot of power in your application, if you want to create video games, for example, C is the best language, okay? Because you can have all the control of the electronics. It's a super powerful language, okay? Then, if you want to do anything, Java is also another option. Okay, Java have a lot of packages, a lot of libraries, a lot of references. It's not super difficult to learn, and you can do many things. Okay. Then what else? Of course, if you want to work with sensors and you don't have a previous experience, then Arduino is a good option. If you want to do cool things, P5. With P5, it's online, so you can have it in your desktop, but also you can have it online. You can work online. There's an editor, and it's quite similar like processing. I can show you some examples. Okay. So this one, this is an example that I did in P5 to create generative design. So it's create randomly different designs and create an image that you can download. It's easy. Every time that I run, it creates a different shape. So you can do very cool graphics. It's not difficult to learn. It's quite similar like Arduino. And there's a lot of examples, okay? And you can do really cool things. In that case, I'm gonna give you another example. For example, this one is an example that I did connecting with machine learning from Google. And the idea is to, I don't know if I can do it now. I hope so. Probably not, because my camera is connected. But the idea of this exercise is you can draw a pane, and with machine learning, identify in which artists are you more related with. Okay. And you can do it in a few lines of code. So this is the power of the also for P5, that with good libraries and not a lot of experience, you can do super powerful applications. Okay, and there's also many references, many libraries, many examples. A good recommendation also, if you don't have experience in code, is go take one code and try to understand how it works. Because P5 processing Arduino is super easy to understand and read, at least understand the structure, and then start doing remix. So start doing small changes in this code so you can understand how to read that information, how to visualize this information. Okay, so don't start since nothing, start with an example. Okay, this is for P5. What else? Okay, one is super famous is Scratch. That normally people link Scratch with kids, and in fact it's something that many kids around the world do. Okay, But if you don't have experience, it's also a good option because it works with block programming, block coding, okay? And also have some extensions, some plugins, so you can connect Scratch with your camera, with AI, with microbit. I mean, it has a lot of examples also. It's super easy because you just need to understand how it works, okay? So when click something, move 10 steps, okay? And then if I click the green, it's moving. So super easy, and you can learn code. In fact, I teach the basic of coding with Scratch because it's super easy to understand how it works, what is a loop, what is a variable, what is a function, with something that is quite easy, accessible for everybody, and there's millions of options. And also the powerful of Scratch now is the extensions. We are building more and more extensions. So Scratch, another option. Okay. In fact, there's Scratch for Arduino. So you can connect. Yeah. You can connect Scratch blocks with your Arduino PCB. Okay, with block coding. Perfect. What else? What else? If you want to do super nice this real-time performance, I don't know if you know BBB. Someone knows BBB? No. It's super nice because it works with nodes. So you are coding by nodes. So the way is to connect different nodes. Each of the nodes is a piece of code that connects input, output, networking. You can connect with your Arduino. I can show you an example. Let's see if it works in my computer. The thing is that it just works with Windows and Mac, not for Linux people. It's a super powerful tool that you can use for real-time performance. Okay, in fact, many artists use it to do real-time graphics, connections. Also, a very huge community, with many nodes. So if you don't have experience coding by languages, NodeRed, sorry, BBB is a good option. Okay. Yes, it's not working. Okay, I can show you like that. Right. What else? Yeah, Software, Firefly, App Inventor is another one we're going to use today. App Inventor. App Inventor. App Inventor is a tool developed by the same team from the MIT that developed Scratch, but they create this tool to prototype mobile applications. At the beginning, it was just for Android, but now they create a version for iOS. Okay, so you can prototype application, mobile applications with App Inventor and iOS. Okay. Okay, I will figure out later. What else? PD Pure Data is to create, is very similar from BBB, but more related with music. Also to do performance, it's working also with nodes. For me, it's a little bit more complex, but the nice thing is that it works with Linux also. Okay. So Pure Data is going to do performance related with music. and connect devices to this input output your data. Okay. It's open source with humanity too. With Arduino? Yeah, I mean, it's super basic, but at the end, you have the console. I mean, you have the code in Arduino, and then you have the monitor serial where you can connect and visualize the information. More than that, in my opinion, I think that you cannot do it. Okay, the idea is to use Arduino to code your PCB, your electronics, your sensors, and then visualize and connect with something else, like your mobile phone or a web page or whatever, or processing. Okay. Okay. What else? In terms of how to connect your data with your server or with your application in a web page, there's different options. One cool concept is the Websocket. I think here. Websocket is to create communication between your application and your data in real time. Okay, so you can create a web page and you have a sensor and it's connected. So, and the way how it works is that you create the application, you create a WebSocket server, and then when someone connects to your web page, for example, it creates a connection, direct connection between your server and your client. Okay, but directly, it's like a direct connection. Okay. So all information goes through there in real time. So if you want to visualize data in real time, this is the option. One thing that is super important is that the security here. So try to use secure servers and yeah, and the other thing about WebSockets is that you can send information and you can receive information from your client. Okay. So you can send a message directly to your client and receive a message. So you can create a communication. For example, you can create a chat in your web page through WebSockets. Okay, it's clear. I mean, I'm not going super deep in the technology, but what I want from you is to understand the concept, because then later we can help you. Okay, if you want to use WebSockets or not, or other options. Okay, I also include an example how to use it with SP2, okay? How to get a connection between your electronics and your server. Cool. What else?
Can you share that?
It's in the HackMD. Okay? It's this example. Okay. It's like a step-by-step. They explain how to use the concept, the library, designs to tables. Okay. What else? No, I can share in the chat, and I will include it also in the documentation later. Okay. The HackMD. HackMD and the Miro. Yeah. What else? IFTTT. Have you tried IFTTT? This is super nice also to prototype IoT ideas. Okay. At the end, it's a service where you can connect devices, can connect your code in Arduino with IFTTT, and then connect with a service like your fridge, okay, or your phone. So when your plant needs water, call me, and you receive a call from your service. Okay, this is not open source. In fact, now I think that you have just 4 receipts, so you can do 4 examples, and then you need to pay for it. But if you have an idea, you want to prototype something super quick, like in 20 minutes, you can use HTTP, okay? And you can connect your Arduino also with HTTP. I think that someone uses, no, in your project, in your time. Yeah.
Yes, like send an email.
Ah, yeah, I remember. Yeah, true.
This, then that.
Yeah, if this, then that. So if these things happen, then do that. It's easy to understand the concept. It's like, and it's created like a receipt. I don't know if I have. Let me check. Yeah. I think I cannot use it now because I spent all the options. So if I don't know, there's a lot of options here. And also you can use the filter. So for example, if you receive a tweet, then do a phone call. I think that you need to connect it with the service because at the end there are some companies that are creating these services in HTTP. Okay, it's clear how to use it and how to run it. It's not super powerful because at the end you have the limitation of the services that they are offering you. But to test some ideas, we use a lot this in our workshop when you have just 1 hour with someone and you need to build up IoT. HTTP is a good option. Then, what else? In terms of databases, my recommendation if you don't have a previous experience is use Mongo or MySQL. Okay, it's a kind of language to connect your information with your web page or with your application. Okay. Also, you can use Google Docs to save your information. You have the data, and you can get this information from your Android and connect with your Google Drive and save it there. Okay, it's not super fancy, but yeah, it's an option. What else here? Another option, this is for user interface. So imagine that you need real-time data connection. Firebase is super powerful. This one. It's a service also that I have here. I can show you. Okay, here. This is for real-time database. Okay, it's a service that Google offers you, and it's quite fast to set up everything. At the end, you need to create like the database, which are the fields that you want to save, and then with a service like with an option like NodeRed. Here, this exercise in NodeRed that connects information that you receive and save it in a Firebase connection. Okay, so you have a node that the only thing that you need to do is to say, hey, this is my database in Firebase. Okay, and then I can push it here and in theory, you are receiving information now. Okay, I'm gonna do it like. Every second. And I can start sending this information. You see? I'm connecting with the database in real time, so NodeRed. It's free for 2 databases. And also they control a little bit how many data are you working on. Again, for prototype, easy. If you pay, then it's perfect. But if you don't want to pay and you want to prototype an idea about how to connect this, Firebase is nice. It's not open source, okay? So at the end, Google knows everything about you, but to prototype, yeah, you see in real time now. Okay.
Software we can use to create interface like small OLED screen. It's in the microprocessor. Give feedback, but not just a display line of characters or drawing stuff like really creating like a small screen with diagram.
Yeah, there's some libraries that are specific for microchips that you can do some graphics. I have a reference, but not now. I can give you later, okay? Because then what I saw until now is to visualize in a graphic, in a chart, some data. More than this, no.
Application.
Yeah.
Application when we're producing on the screen through the microcontroller.
No. I think this. You mean that if you can have in the microcontroller the same application that you have in your mobile phone?
Or let's say web browser, maybe an image of a web browser, maybe.
Yeah. What you can have in your Arduino, in your electronics, is to embed a web page there, okay, and then create a server in your MCU, for example, in your electronics, and then you create a hotspot, and then with your mobile phone you can connect there, and you're visualizing, and your electronics is your server.
Sending this web page on the OLED screen.
Yeah. No. At least I didn't see. But we can try to research. I don't think so because it's not depends on the microchip too. Because for example in the IT Tiny, no. Then depends. If your application is a web page, then yes. If you are thinking like something different, depends. And then in the OLED, what I saw until now is just some lines, some charts, but probably maybe we can ask Oscar too. Yes. More questions about it? No? What else?
The Firebase is connected to the window or to another?
Firebase is part of your schema, and then you need to connect Firebase with something, no? In my case, I use here to connect with NodeRed. Okay, so it's a way to do it. Another way, probably there's some libraries that you can connect your Arduino with Firebase directly. Okay. Because at the end, what you need is the direction of your database, the user, and the password. Okay. There's an option that you can connect directly to the database without user. Because maybe you want to prototype something with some community and you don't want to, so you can share this the link and people saving this information. Yes? What else? Then, in terms of graphics, millions of options. I put just some of them here. And real cool one, Unity. If you want to create applications for VR, Unity is the best option. Unity or Unreal, okay? Unity. Okay, it's open too. I mean, it's free, so it's free. So you can register and use at the same level that a company. They ask you to pay if you are going to use this if you are going to earn money. Okay? So if you want to create a game with Unity and you are going to sell this game, then they ask you that you need to pay for the license. But again, super powerful, many plugins. You can code with C++ and also I think that JavaScript. And also there's some extensions that you can code by blocks too. Okay, so Unity. The alternative to Unity is Unreal. Okay. The same way that Unity. And if you want to create some cool graphics, then Blender. Here in the house we have Victor, that is the master of Blender. What else? 3JS is super powerful. JavaScript. You can visualize a lot of data with this library. It's a little bit complex, but if you have previous experience with JavaScript, I recommend it. Okay. What else? Then audio video real time with HTML5. You can embed videos, you can embed audios. Okay. Open frameworks is also super powerful to create real time graphics. It's like a next step of okay. But you need to know a little bit of C++. But if you see the show reel, it's amazing. You can create really nice experiences with open frameworks. Perfect. What else? For VR, AR, my recommendation here is to start with A-Frame. Okay. We will do a session in 10 minutes about A-Frame, but if you check the webpage, it's JavaScript to do web VR. Okay, so you can embed a VR experience in your webpage. Okay, it has the option of a browser, but also the option to connect with your glasses, or you can use some of the new system of VR also, and it's online. Okay, we will do an exercise later, but if you want to connect in some way and have an experience, you can embed audio, you can import your 3D models and to your web page. There's also a huge community behind this, many examples. So if you want to start with VR and web VR, A-Frame is a super good option. Okay. Then, if you want to work with data and mathematics, there's many options. My recommendation here is going to start is with R is a kind of language to manage big data, many data at the same time. Then SciPy is a library for Python, okay, or NumPy. And then D3 is also nice. It's also a library for data visualization. So you can create real cool graphics based on data with JavaScript. Okay, a lot of examples here also. So if you have JavaScript, if you know JavaScript, or if you don't know JavaScript, start learning JavaScript is my recommendation. D3 is super nice if you want to visualize data. Okay. What else?
Sorry, you have some this kind of library for another question. What's the best way to use data like sensor data, high frequency, different computation, like most computation on the chip, and then treat data like internet database, or to be like version of the computation?
Yeah, I mean, my recommendation is you should give the power of the I mean, if you need to do a lot of calculations, then send this to JavaScript, and then the browser of your client is going to do all the job. So don't give the work to the microchip. But depends on your application, because at the end, if you need to have all the powerful there, then you need to find which is the best option. For your questions, I think that MicroPython could be an option. MicroPython is you can embed inside your electronics, and there's some libraries, and maybe there's some libraries to do calculations inside there. Okay, is answering the question or not? Okay. Yeah, A-frame is just for web VR, and then Unity you can create web applications, but also for your mobile phone, for video games. I mean, it's more powerful. Okay, and also in real, you can have super nice graphics in real time, because at the end, if you see the A-frame graphics are quite limited. Okay, and also depends on your computer, or the computer of your client. Okay. Which is the best option? Depends on the project. If you want to create a video game, go to Unity or Unreal. If you want to have an experience in your web page or do a game, but without many good graphics, then yeah, A-frame is a good option. The learning curve for A-frame is super easy. For Unity, it's more complex. Yeah. What else? Okay. In terms of where you can embed your project, there's different options. Okay, you can have it in a Raspberry Pi, and here we have the master of the Raspberry Pi. Okay, if not, my recommendation is use one of the big of Google or Amazon or Microsoft. In my case, I have experience in Amazon. Okay, I'm going to show you. Not this one. Okay. I'm going to show you because The first time is a little bit complex, but once you, let's see. Okay. So I have this A-frame virtual world in a instance of Amazon. Okay, so I have here everything. And once you set up, because for example, in that case, it's an Ubuntu online, Ubuntu online. But once you have set up everything, you can start creating copies of this, and you can save it and create images. So for the future, if you need 3 servers, it's like 2 clicks, you can have different servers. Okay, it's a little bit complex to set up at the beginning because you need to set up some of the configuration, but there's many tutorials about this. And in terms of cost, if you don't have many access, it's almost free because they depends on how many users you have in your application, and depends on how many data you are serving. The cost is cheap or expensive, depends on it. Okay. But to prototype ideas, to have a server, if you want to show to a future client your application, super nice to do.
There is a provider of this kind of service.
Sorry, I cannot do it.
There is a provider of this kind of service, but it's not good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I use this one because it's super easy to set up everything. But in terms, probably yes, probably there are more options. Yeah, we can ask Victor about this. Okay. What I'm showing you today is tools for prototype your ideas. Okay. Some of them could be super like Amazon. Some of them is just to prototype and show the idea. So yeah. What else? Digital Ocean is an option it's an alternative for Amazon and Google. In fact, I think that here in the house we have Digital Ocean. Do you have a question for now? Sorry. Repeat. I mean, in theory, the privacy is guaranteed. Okay, and you need to set up because at the end you are the owner of your server. You need to set up everything. You need to. They just give you the service and the space, and you can put a Windows, you can put an Ubuntu, you can set up your security for your servers. Depends on you. But the nice thing is that if you want to scale up, easy. You don't need to do nothing because they adapt. Depends on your situation. And what else? And the support that they give you is super nice. So you don't have many experience about how to set up a server. This is a good option.
We have servers as well.
You have to
compute on the local computer. You need to run like big code.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, there are different options. Huh? Yeah, you can do it.
I mean, not like the blockchain, you need like Ethereum or
Sorry.
the blockchain. How can you like flow or use like this data like the blockchain?
No idea. Honestly, no idea. Probably Amazon has a service to do this, but normally the blockchain people has many servers to do the main thing. And if you want to do this in Amazon, it's going to be more expensive. The service the thing that you're gonna earn with the money that you want to earn with blockchain. So no. Okay. Questions from the people that is online? No, because if not, we are going to have 5 minutes and then we will start with A3. Okay.
Es que el otro día vi un chico que había hecho una librería para visualizar gráficos en tiempo real. Una cosa de eso me estaba preguntando. Claro, ahí claro, pues si tú tienes dentro de una página web el cálculo, cuando se ejecuta el cliente, lo hacen sabes de decir, tú le das JSON, porque vas a los datos que quieras, JavaScript de tu página web, cuando lo ejecuta, se ejecuta en el cliente, tú pasas ahí el cálculo. Es una opción. Pero si tú lo quieres como dispositivo, que se lo tengas aquí, hay que mirar. Claro, verlo en el móvil. Sí, pero la cosa es que es lo igual. Si quieres tener una interfaz bonita que has creado una vez, ahí es donde la ONED te vas a quitar. Pero no como un disco técnico, porque la puede ser
voy a poner una enseña todo lo que he pensado y cachamos.
Para visualizar datos, hay algunos modelos de machine learning que ya están hay una librería de Softflow para Microsoft. Sí, tú ya tienes el modelo allí y te hace los cálculos.
Vale, pero el learning no hace.
No, o sea, tú haces eso, claro. Lo cargas en Softflow, lo cargas en y luego haces el cálculo de eso. Pero ya, pues, una pregunta. A lo largo del tiempo sí puede ser, pero para crearlo el modelo, luego lo carga y luego sí que puedes poner que está para
Igual no tengo pensado eso, pero ese paso siguiente es obvio
Sí, claro, depende. Sí, todo depende de la posición. Porque, claro, tú puedes hacer esto, sí, pero piensa muy bien para que lo quieres. Y como lo que pensar, no vas a escalar. Si quieres escalar, pues ya puedes pensar desde el principio. Ahora igual es demasiado, pero igual para luego. Además, claro, ya compartir.
Sí, no, te preguntaba porque yo sé
Pero,
que hay que estar por ahí de las cosas.
Sí, pero para prototipar ideas, y yo te hago todo el proceso de cómo crear la porque
si yo están llevando esto que he puesto pues Rafa
tú ya tienes la idea de ese tipo para implementarlo. Pero hoy va a participar cosas y es mejor herramientas.
Gracias.
Yesterday, last week, I had that week. I use ESP as a backend host. One set of server. I was requesting data. I do Websocket. Yes, it was real time. First time I had like lots of side data, single string, that we were updating. It was updating in seconds. But it's like And then there was this thing about synchronous web servers and asynchronous web servers. What I understood, the synchronous web server, basically for each request, it gets a dedicated line that it keeps up. And then once it makes a request, it keeps the line. Asynchronous is like a serial communication where you see like multiple requests. Because the using examples of my system. And like the libraries are like passive, but the code is like untitled libraries that it took like primary PSP.
Yeah. Because sometimes you need real time. Sometimes you need because my connection is just two people. What is going to happen how it's going to work?
Another question. So like I said, 826 module. What I understand that means that 4 words can be issued by request. So if the same module would be used as the server, it would be the same. You only do like 4 requests at the same time. So in that case, if I'm requesting for more than one piece of data, I would obviously need an asynchronous server setup. Okay. But like, sorry.
Okay, I'm thinking like what I was
another thing I was when you're putting a request for data, it doesn't matter your shift data. Because if you have a matrix data, if you store it like this, and then have this this request sent back a matrix, it's going to be no use as many requests. The structure, yes.
How you send
I don't know, no, no, it's like just like GPS data. I'm doing wireless. But like, sorry, if I structure my data as a matrix, how would the server just like send the matrix, the whole matrix, or like separate each data from the matrix, and then
how do you want to have it?
as a matrix, maybe by like, oh yeah, you have to read it as a string. That's right. Yeah, you have to read that.
That's why I was going to do that. How you send it? This field, we know that all
embed this process in my computer. Because like I don't have connection to it's just like a remote system. So I just work within its own system. I can't connect to it. It's a remote system. Yeah, exactly. So everything needs to be within the baseline. No, what the system is basically a real-time position. I have a base station that does things according to the position, say my phone. So I would send like the GPS data from my phone to the base station through Wi-Fi. And then according to what it gets, it does something. So in terms of like the data exchange, it's pretty simple. No, I don't need to switch back. The only thing, like, what it does basically is it tracks the position of moving objects, and then it orients a camera. It tries to orient the camera. So, like, I only need like to get like differential position. The full accept the data transfer. My program does it right now. Each variable is given a key address, and it's access a variable, it accesses the key address, but it's given as a string. You can convert it as a. Say again? Yeah, it's a get request. Exactly. For now, the structure is this. And I'm just wondering if I did everything yesterday. I have a lot of questions. Yeah. We can get together.
O sea, todo lo que estabas ahorita es más o menos algo que ya habíamos platicado, ¿no?
Claro, sí, la visión como para dos puntos de opciones. Y ese pues, se ha marcado como siempre.
Y ahorita ya hay ahí más o menos de las cosas que podían hacer. ¿Y qué países programamos para trabajar esta ¿vale? Quiero hacer una pequeña para porque estaba muy grande. Entonces, voy a poner a hacer la tarjeta me va a ayudar. Me va a ayudar a hacer la tarjeta y a partir de ahí quisiera empezar con todo el tema de información, de cómo entregarle las mapas, todo eso.
Luego
y empezar a descargar la información ahí, sobre todo porque el propósito de todo esto es como utilizar esa información como evidencia para cuando tienes una tabla que todos pueden entender, puedes descargar, puedes imprimir, que puede llegar y decir, mira, esta locación se ha marcado, se ha rankeado, y entonces está muy bien, tal vez de ahí gráfica haya como más sí, mira, aparte lo que me gustaría hacer es que estuve viendo si se puede
y no con
sí, porque vi que puedes programar un bot de Telegram con Arduino. Entonces, con NodeRed también. Porque eso es lo que me gustaría, que al final de la ruta te llegara como un mensaje del bot donde tú la rankearas. Oye, ¿cómo se puede rankear la de máximo? Que esté teniendo como esta cooperación posterior a derecho a la ruta. Entonces voy a empezar a investigar de nuevo. Sí, no, y esto que tienes que pagar y tienes limitado.
No era así. Pero cuando yo tenía una masa,
Sí, voy a checar. No, de todo, no como todo rojo.
¿Qué pasa, chicos?
Okay, let's start. Okay. Are you there? Okay, let's start with A-frame. We have 1 hour and a half, more or less. So my idea here is show you a little bit about A-frame and then a little bit of App Inventor. So you can start trying to play with these two technologies. If you go to the HackMD, you will see some good links. Okay. The first one is the official webpage. So let's go there. And the best option to start always something new is with the hello world. Okay, so this is the basic exercise. So if you go to the view source, it goes directly to Glitch. So the first thing you need to do is go to Glitch and create an account or try to use this. Glitch is an online editor that has special focus in A-frame. Okay, so go to Glitch. Glitch. The link is here. I'm gonna put it in the chat too. Okay. I mean, you can use any editor that you want. But I recommend Glitch because it's online. It's also for the community, for the A-frame community. And normally, how is structured an A-frame application is that you have the index and you have some assets. Okay, and for the index part, you will see that. Okay. Sorry. If you go to what you have in Glitch, okay, and then go to view source, and you can do this with any of the examples that come from A-frame. Okay, so it's nice because then you can see how the others are done. Okay. Look. And then if you want to know the code of this, go to the view source, and then direct to Glitch. And then in Glitch, you can click view source. Okay. Takes time. Okay. And then on the top right, there's an option that could remix to edit. Okay, so the idea is to click it here to edit the project and create one for yourself. It's clear this process? Yes? Yes? It's clear? No? I can repeat it. So you take one example from A-frame. Okay? and you think, oh, I want to know how to use this. You go to the view source on the right, top right. You click, and then it goes to A-frame. And if you want to change the code, you need to go to remix to edit. Or you can copy okay. And paste here. Okay. Clear? So this is the basic example of A-frame, a WebDR framework. Okay. And how is it structured? It's like a typical HTML. So you have the header, and you have the body. And in the header, the important part is that you need to include the A-frame library always. Okay. You can have the library in your server, or my recommendation is to link with the last version that the A-frame gives you. Okay. So anytime that you include this part, you can access to the A-frame library. Okay. And then what is the scene? You have two important tags here. One is the scene itself. Okay, this is something that you always need to have. I can make this. Okay, and I can show you. So now we have a virtual world, but without nothing, because it's just the scene. Okay. Now I'm going to include a primitive. A primitive means a basic 3D object. Okay, you already know it, but just mention. In that case, I'm going to include a box. And the box has a position in the space. You can rotate the object. You can give color, and also you can decide if this object, 3D object, can have shadow or not. Okay. So let's gonna keep it like this, and then if you go to show in the window, and here you have that. Yeah. It's clear, this. It's super basic, but I explain you like how it's structured because all the examples I started in the same way. Okay. That's gonna include the other one. So a sphere, a cylinder, and a plane. And then again, show in a new window. Yeah, and you have here. Can you try in your computers? You can execute this A-frame locally, or you can execute in an online editor, or you can embed in a server, whatever you want. Question for now. It's important to understand this process because all the A-frame exercises, examples work like this. Sorry? It's going to work. For example, in that case, I have it in a server. So this is an example of that. This is online. Okay. Okay, so try to play with the colors. Try to change the color of the object. The colors are the properties that each of the objects in A-frame has. Okay? And you can keep in hexadecimal way, or you can put like green, basic colors. Yeah. So try to play with this basic exercise, and what I want from you is to move in a different position the different options. So try to change these values. Each of the values refers to the X position, the Y position, and the Z position. Okay, it's clear? And the same for the rotation. Okay, the rotations are in degrees. Okay. So 2 minutes to play with it. Sorry?
I don't know why I just don't know. Feel like that.
Can you bring the computer? I can check it. Okay, important. If something happens and you don't know what, you can go always to the inspector of your browser and check what is happening. Okay. Paco. Tiene tiempo. Es por el tiempo.
¿Por el tiempo?
Es decir, tarda en cargar. Si quieres, haz un login.
Ok.
Y haces copy-paste del código.
Ok.
¿Sí?
Va. Copy-paste del código. O sea,
Sí, ahí te enseño cómo es.
Ok.
Y le dices New Project. Y este. Por la conexión a internet. Are you playing with this or not? Try to change the rotation, the position of the objects, please. Vale, ahora vete aquí. Dale Visual Instructor. No, ahí no. Pero aquí no te dejará. Tira para atrás. ¿Seguro? Uso este. Dale botón derecho a ver si puedes ver el código.
Sí.
El código. Copia esto. Ok. It's working. Easy, ¿no?
En el index, ¿verdad? ¿Sí, en el index o alguno nuevo?
En el index. Copia y borra todo. Okay, now in the scene you can create an environment. Okay, there's a library that comes from.
Change the position of the camera.
Yeah, you can play with the camera. I can show you now. Okay. What I did now is change the environment. Okay. So if you go to the, and I'm gonna show you how I do this. If you go to A-frame, the A-frame documentation. Okay. Here, and then dogs. Okay. For example, you can add an sky. Okay, I'm gonna put it here. And then show. Let's see if it works. I don't know what. Something happened with the cookie. Okay. So with this code, I add an environment to your scene. Okay. And there's many environments. Not many, but some of them. You go to the here and you put environment. Okay. So for the environment, you need to include a library. That is a component. So for A-frame, they have the basic one, libraries, but also there are some people that have developed some libraries for A-frame. Okay. In that case, I'm going to copy this in the chat. So this is the library for the environment. Okay, Gerardo, you have the answer, no? Sorry. And then if you include this in the script file, so in the header, copy and paste. Okay. And then you add this property to the scene environment. You can check, for example, if you put Egypt. Yeah, you see? Now I change everything. Okay. It's clear this? Question?
You have to download a library?
No. You can download the library and embed in your server, but my recommendation always is to link to a library in a server of forums. Okay. And I include this in the chat. I include the environment library, which is this one. Okay. And then once you have included the library, you can add to the scene. Okay. And the way to change is change the present name. It's clear for all of you? No? I can repeat it again. Eh? I can see your faces. So what I want to show you here is in A-frame, there's libraries. The basic one is the ones that come from the framework itself. But then there are some people, part of the community, that develop libraries that you can use in your project. Okay. How to include a library? Just try to find the library, the link. Okay. In that case, I put in Google A-frame environment, and I went to here, and they say, hey, if you want to use my environment, my library, copy the link, embed in your code. Okay. And in that case, this library gives you different scenes to your A-frame scene. Okay, right. Which environment you can embed? You can see here. For example, it's gonna put the dream one. So you go to the scene, add the environment property to the scene tag, and then change instead of Egypt, you can put dream. Yeah, and this links with the library. So if you change, see? Easy? Again, you can create your own environment upload to your application and use it. You can design in Blender, export the files, and embed to your server. But again, for prototyping, I think it's better if you try to find some libraries and examples and do remix. Okay. It's not recording. I can repeat the class.
Recording in progress.
No. Don't worry, for the ones that didn't come, I can repeat that.
No. Tatiana. Are you recording the class? Good. Thank you very much. Sorry to interrupt class. Okay.
Again, the session for today is not, you're not going to be experts, but what I want from you is that today you saw many options. I did some questions that could be, that can be useful for your reflections. And then I want to show you 2 options. But after this class, if someone has questions, please contact me. You can send me an email, you can chat, and we can do like a specific for each of you. Because I was discussing with Morgi and Ines that which is the best option? There's no best option. The best option you need to decide. And the best decision is to do a reflection yourself, analyze which is your expertise. If you know which language you know, what is your concept of the application, which is the concept of the application, and then decide which is the best technology. Okay. Yeah. What else? Okay. While I'm preparing the other exercise, try to change your environments, try to add new primitives, new objects to your 3D world. And in the chat, share your creation. Okay. So copy and put it in the chat. Yes. Paco, you need to go.
Take data from the sensor, send it to the web page.
Yeah. Give me a second. You can do it with sockets. With sockets or with messages, with MQTT. For example, I'm going to show you, but just an example, because we don't have time today, but this is the A-frame that I have in the server, okay? That is super basic one. There's nothing, just the scene. Okay, I'm gonna include in the chat. But then, and I put the application in the HackMD. I create an application in App Inventor. Okay. But I don't know why it's not working. So I created an application in App Inventor. I'm going to show you this just as a reference for you, okay? And then I have the server here. And then what the application does is Give me a second. I can expand the QR, so I have the application in mobile phone. Let's see if it works. Okay. Look, have you seen? Now there's a fish that I can control from my mobile phone. Okay. This is just an example. And also, for example, the texture of the object, I can modify the texture of the object, taking a picture and sending to the A-frame application. Okay. And I'm controlling the sensor from my mobile phone and sending this information to the A-frame. Okay. At the end, if you change the mobile phone with your electronics, then you can send this information there. Yeah. And I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay. So this is an A-frame super basic in terms of coding. So this is the code that I use. Okay. That is, again, the libraries that I use, and a speed with the environment, and a camera. Okay. But then, with NodeRed, I'm connecting the application with the virtual world that is in the A-frame node. Okay. And I'm sending messages from the mobile phone to the NodeRed server and the Node server to the A-frame. Do you see the connection? It's clear? No. Do you understand how I did it? I mean, you have the App Inventor, that is an application that you can prototype in your mobile phones, and I will do a demo now. Okay. But once you have the application, I can send messages from the mobile phone to my server. Okay. In that case, I have a NodeRed to manage all the situation. Okay, and in NodeRed, I have an MQTT broker. So I'm receiving messages from the mobile phone. I'm listening these messages, and I say, okay, this is for create a fish in the server. Okay, and then I send this information to the A-frame. What's it? Okay. Okay, the fish. Okay, I can show you. You do here. Okay, there's an attack. I'm gonna try to do it bigger. Okay. That it's called asset item, where you can upload 3D objects. Okay, and in that case, what I did is I went to Google and say, okay, 3D objects. And you can go to a Sketchpad and try to find an object. Download, and in that case, I have the file in my server. But sometimes, if you find a server that brings you the 3D object, you can link again. Okay, and the way to link this is with the source. So this tab, you can specify an ID. You can say, hey, this file, this object is in this file. And I can include it here. Okay. Okay. What else I did here? There's one part. So I have the HTML that is the virtual world, but I also have one JavaScript that is listening all the time the messages from the mobile phone and say, hey, when I receive a fish, create an object and embed it in the virtual world. I mean, I know that I need a long step since the basic of A-frame until now. But I wanted to show you the workflow. Okay, so you have the virtual world is one code, JavaScript. You have App Inventor, that is a code itself. Okay, it's an application. Code with App Inventor with blocks. And then you have the NodeRed. Okay. Yes? No? Questions? There's question in the chat or not? You cannot. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give you 5 more minutes to try to create your own virtual world. And once you have it, copy it and paste it in the chat. Okay. Where?
That scene, if you back to the code.
This is one. Yeah. So the box, the sphere, the cylinder, and the plane. I add the environment. I add the library with the environment. And also I add a sky. But you can avoid it. Yeah. Can we spend 5 minutes so you can create your own world?
You don't have to do anything.
Sorry?
You don't have to do anything.
No. And share your creations in the chat. How is it going for the people that is trying? Any questions? Also, a super nice reference. If you want to learn more about A-frame, there's the A-frame school. Okay, that it's online documentation where they explain step by step how to do everything. Okay. How to add textures, how to upload your own assets. Okay. The A-frame school is super nice reference. Ah, yeah, Josefina. It's the A-frame school. And also, if you go to the date frame, you can find the documentation. Okay, so explanation for each of the tags and links for the community. Also, there's a Slack channel for the different community when you can ask everything. There's a Discord group, example references, but always work like this. You have the basic structure and you can embed with tags, HTML tags. Yeah. Se te falla. Esta te va para atrás, no está linkado a un HTTPS. ¿Sí? Busca, copia esto, este trozo, en Google y busca la referencia. Porque te va a buscar como si estuvieras en el servidor y no lo tienes.
La referencia va aquí.
Sí.
¿Y qué tiene que ser como un
HTTPS, sí. Si te vas a aquí, te va a copiar de aquí. Pero si te vas a cierra la consola. ¿No?
Entonces copio esto, este script nada más.
Okay. Yes. A-frame? No. Yeah, exactly. It's with JavaScript. So you have the at the end all is JavaScript because the A-frame library is JavaScript too. But then you can connect, like if you define an ID for each of the objects, then by JavaScript you can reference and you can say, hey, when someone touch me, do something. But this is with JavaScript, okay? It's not super complex, and there's also examples. If you need some examples, tell me, because I have some of them. Depends on the action that you want to do. But it works like this, JavaScript. In fact, here, in the example that they have online, I do this. So I'm listening, and when I receive a message, I read the message and I say, okay, this is a fish. And if it's a fish, create the model or modify an existing one. Okay, but this is JavaScript. So interaction with the 3D world with JavaScript. Yeah. Okay. What else? Now, let's gonna change a little bit and let's gonna try to go to App Inventor. Okay. Then App Inventor. It's online. You can go to Google and say App Inventor. And the first one. It's online, it's free, but you need a code to register. Okay. If you want to create an app, select your account, and get it. App Inventor is to prototype mobile applications. Since the beginning, it was for Android, but since 1 year ago, more or less, it works also for iOS. Okay. And then how it was.
Is there a big difference between this and Figma? You know Figma?
No, I don't know. Do you have the link? Could you share the link?
Okay.
Probably no. I mean, at the end, this is a block coding tool. And once you enter in App Inventor and you say start new project, start new project. You can put the name of the project, that is going to be the name of your application too. So you can get it later. And then you have on the left the different options that you can use for your interface. A button, an image, whatever. There's also how you want to divide your application interface. If it's horizontal or vertical, how it's going to be the arrangement. There are some blocks for media. So you can do pictures, you can do videos, but also you can do speech recognition. At the end, is using all these blocks, using all your sensors that you have in your mobile phone. Okay. So you can control the accelerometer, the light sensor, the location, whatever. Okay. I'm missing you. Yeah, you can create your own, but normally with images, okay? So you have some restrictions. The way to do it is you add a button, and then maybe you can upload an image for this button. Do it that you have created. Sorry? No, for App Inventor, no. You can play with your own images and then customize each of the components with your images, but you cannot play by code with this. Has some restrictions, but works super easy at the end. I mean, it's a balance. If you want to create a professional application, don't go to App Inventor. But if you want to test it and prototype something with a node coding, this is nice. Yeah. You can download projects and save project or export the project. Okay. In fact, the example that I show you that I can control the fish, it's in the HackMD. Okay, so you can download and upload, and you will see there everything. Okay. Then how it works. So you place so you first decide the layout. You want to do vertical arrangement. Okay. There are some properties, so you can say I'm gonna fill the height and I'm gonna fill the width. Okay. And then I'm gonna use a button. Okay, so you drag and drop the button into your interface, and the same. You can decide if you want to do fill. Sorry. Do it bigger? Sorry, but how can I do this? Because there. You know? Yeah. Okay, so in App Inventor you have two different point of view: the point of view of the designer and the point of view of the coder. Okay. What else? For the designer with Everything, and then you can add a label, the kind field. Okay. You can change the name of the text of the button. You can change some properties like the background color. You want to the font size. Yeah. And then if you want to test in your mobile phone, you need one application first. So in Android and also in iOS, it's called App Inventor. You check the link. It's called iOS. Okay. So if you go to the Google Play, you will find this. So you need to download this first, okay, in your computer, in your mobile phone. This one, I don't know. Can you see in my camera? The application. Then once you have installed it in your mobile phone, you go back to the App Inventor, and you can do two things. One, test it as a simulator, or download the file and install in your mobile phone. Okay, you can do this for iOS, and you can do this for Android. In the case of iOS, you just can't test it because Apple blocks the application that no goes through the App Store. Okay. If you want to test in your mobile phone, you go to connect. Okay. Connect and you say hey companion. You can scan the code. And now it takes time. I have the same application that the App Inventor in my mobile phone, and you can test it. It's clear, this, and you can connect with the companion with an emulator that you need to install in your computer, or through USB, connecting the mobile phone through USB to your computer. Yeah. The app is this one. Companion. This one.
We like edit the App Inventor. How can we refresh the information?
Yeah, when you are doing the test, if you change something in the App Inventor, then in your mobile phone it changes in real time.
Do we need to do something here first? Or
no, automatically. Yeah. Okay. And then the second point of view of the application is the part of the code. To do this, you need to go to blocks. And now you will see that you have on the left the components that you have on this. Then you have the button, you have the label. Imagine that you want to, when you press the button, you want to change the text of the label. So first select the button and you say, hey, when the button click, set the label text, and then you can use this component of text. Say hi up. Okay. Do you understand the workflow? So you first design, then code. Yeah. And again, once you have it, you connect, scan, and you will see here. Imagine you finish. Okay, I have the application, I tested, it works. So if you click in build, you can download the file to your computer, and you can download to your mobile phone and install it. Okay, but this only happens for Android, not for iOS. For iOS, you just can test it. You cannot install in your iOS because for iOS you need to go through the marketplace. Okay. What else? In the Android, once you have the file, you can upload to the Play Store. Register in the Google Play and upload the file and install, and then they validate this, and you can start. No, from here you can find it. You can have the file. Yeah. This in view. Build, save the APK to computer. Okay. And then you download the file to the computer, and then you register in the Google Play, and they validate, and then you can check. If you don't want to go through Google Play, you can have the file and put it in your server and send to the people, hey, you want to download my file, my application. But in that case, in your mobile phone, they ask you, hey, this application, it doesn't come from Google Play. Do you want to start? You can say yes or no. It's a kind of security patch. You can modify. I need to. You can change the icon of the application. You can change the name. You can customize the background. Have some restrictions, but some others that you can try to jump with a little bit of creativity. So create your own images and put it in a button or whatever. About the font type, there's some restrictions too. Okay. Check.
Connect this to some mode.
Huh?
A mode like what modes?
The last thing that I'm going to show you related with it, the cool thing from App Inventor, apart that they have many components and many options, is that the last option is extension. And there are some people that has developed extensions that then you can use in your own application. If you go to the Hack and Be, I include two extensions. Okay. You can click and download the file to your computer. Okay. In that case, for example, this is the
if you want to measure the noise level with your mobile phone, there's an extension to this. Okay, so you can download the file. And then once you have the file, you go to extensions in App Inventor, click it import, and you can add the address if you have the address there, or you can upload from your computer. Then import. And then you have here the extension. And in that case, if I include this extension, I drag and drop. And now, if I go to blocks, some version, I have the code to use this extension. Okay? And I'm explaining like this because for the bot, probably there's some extensions that you can do that. Okay. Yeah. For example, I did many applications, okay? But there's one, this one. In that case, with this one, I use an extension to connect with microbit, but also with machine learning for kids. So you can connect a machine learning service with your application. Imagine that you take a picture and you send this to the machine learning model, and they say, this is a chair. And they give you the name, the label of the object that they have detected. Yeah. So you have many powers with this. Because if you don't find something in the standard way, you can try to find if someone has developed an extension. Yeah? It's clear the workflow for App Inventor. To prototype things, super cool. Questions? Any questions from today? How to embed? How to include? Okay. So you have the user interface image, and then you include here. Then you select the image, and then you can upload the image that you want. Okay. I mean, this is designed for people that doesn't know how to code nothing. So that's why it's super powerful, because your ideas can come through easy. If you understand the workflow, so first design, then code it, test it, and download. You see the powerful or not? Or just I really in love with App Inventor because I don't know.
Then you can connect it with Red.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to show you another example. Yeah. Okay, so again, in the HackMD, I include the example that I use to connect with the NodeRed with the fish. If you click here, you can see how I did it. Okay. You need the MQTT extension. Okay. So what I did is design the interface, super nice interface. And then I upload an extension for MQTT. Okay. I put it in the application, and then in the blocks, what I did is first connect to the broker of the messages, and to do this, you go to the design part. I put the IP of my server. Okay, this IP is the same that I'm using in NodeRed. Okay.
And then in the App Inventor too, also, one thing that you need to do at the beginning is, okay, now I'm connecting with the broker of messages, but I want to listen just some of the topics. Okay, I don't want to listen everything. Imagine that you want to have different devices, and you say, okay, every time that I receive a message from, I don't know, from water, from my sensor of water, the topic is water. But if I'm sending something that is not related to this topic, I don't listen to this. Okay. So in your application, what I did is, okay, I want to connect with the A-frame topic. And then in NodeRed, no, this is Spotify. In NodeRed, I create the broker with the same topic. Yeah. So every time that someone send a message that is connected to my broker and send a message about the A-frame, I'm listening to this. Yeah. And I can do a test to see how it works. The data. You see? Look this part. I'm receiving messages. And this is the way that I receive. And then with this information that comes from my mobile phone, I can connect with the WebVR, with A-frame through JavaScript. Too many things. No? You see? So now I'm receiving information from the mobile phone. I'm listening through the A-frame broker, and I'm sending this information to the A-frame application. Yes? Questions? If you want to test the server, okay. What else? Anyone has questions? No? And now I think that the moment is to think about the concept that you want to use in your assignment and start mapping with the mirror the different options, and then do a reflection of yourself about, I know how to code in processing, I know how to code in App Inventor or whatever, and try to understand which is the best tool for you. And then if someone has a question, I'm here today, but also if you want to send me an email or you want to send an email to the rest of the team. Okay. Thank you so much. Too many things. No? Questions from the people that are online? No? Good, thank you. Ivan or someone, Veronica, if someone has questions, tell me, send me a message.
Yeah, I think I have to get used to it. I have to try, and then I will find certainly a lot of questions, and I will come to you. Thank you.
You're welcome. The idea for today was to discover like different options, workflow, and do a reflection. Yeah.
Yes, and about Figma is really far away because Figma is thing to create apps, but really, really simple apps, like apps for a marketplace, for example.
Okay.
That's what we use to play with a mixed group of mothers and children to learn them how to create their own app in order that create an entrepreneurship, un emprendimiento for their marketplace. Someone wanted to sell cupcakes, other ones wanted to sell, I don't know, jewelry. And yes, it was nice to play with the children and to let them understand a little bit the structure and the architecture of an app. But it's, as you see, it's really, really simple. It's not so complex. I think is app for babies, and App Inventor is not for babies.
Second level.
But it's a nice tool still.
Yes. So, yeah. But it's like a kind of Wimo, no? A demo of your application. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But then you also have to connect sketch with, for example, settings to get the CSS. So Figma kind of takes both things, and also when it is that you can create products, but those are not functional products. You make them with images. So you can say this is one, and I move from this screen to this one.
Okay.
But that's it. It's not real.
Yeah, and it works for iOS and for Android?
Yeah, the thing that you have is you can have the or you can also work on the website without downloading anything.
Okay.
So it's not open source, but it's really it's great, but it's not
Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, Ines.
I think I missed the link. What's the role of NodeRed?
Okay. I'm gonna show you again with sharing my screen. Okay.
I understood that it's taking the IP addresses of the different devices, but
Oops. Sorry. I don't know what happened. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so we have the virtual world. We have the App Inventor application, okay? And then we have a server in Amazon, where is the NodeRed. And what the NodeRed does is connect the information that it's sending from the App Inventor to the virtual world. And I do this through nodes that I don't. Okay. So I'm receiving information through nodes, and NodeRed helps you to distribute this information. And you can decide if you distribute to a web page, like a A-frame, but you can decide to connect with Telegram. And then send this information. So when I receive, I can send this to a Telegram bot or to your Telegram user. You see or no? It's like a handle different data and send this information from different devices and different applications. So it's a kind of framework to connect different IoT tools and technologies. Yeah. I thought that you already have done NodeRed. Is the first time that you see NodeRed? Okay. So then maybe what we can do, I will propose to Santi to do a demo about NodeRed, specifically for NodeRed. So how can you play with this? Because it's also super powerful, right? Because you have the basic one nodes, but also you can import from libraries, or you can import from the community and try to find, I don't know, maps. No, I mean, we can do a demo if you want. Try to do this. Also, I can try to explain you how to embed this NodeRed on this server in a Raspberry Pi. Okay. So you can have the system in a Raspberry Pi instead of Amazon, or I can show you in Amazon, but instead of this, we can try to set up a NodeRed version for Raspberry Pi and then connect devices with it. Okay. I mean, NodeRed has many things. Okay, so you can create maps from data, from the location. That's something that Paco you needed. Okay. Blink.
For example, that map that you make on.
It's OpenStreetMap. Okay. It's an OpenStreetMap. There's a node that comes from. In a second. Okay. So you have OpenStreetMap. You can check. You can change the skin of your map. Okay.
So you could do it from the App Inventor or no, or you could go with like.
No, you can get information from your user on the mobile phone, send it to NodeRed, and NodeRed connects with a map, OpenStreetMap, and visualize this information.
The App Inventor.
No, with NodeRed. In NodeRed, you can decide which information you can show in your map. But has meaning, right? Also. Yeah, there's TensorFlow also for to do machine learning. So there's many nodes that you can embed and use it in your application. And again, this is super nice to prototype ideas, because have you seen that easy you can connect many things without have no super technical expertise. You can connect from your ASP to NodeRed.
NodeRed be like the ESP use that server.
For NodeRed, no, because you don't have the memory. For the sorry. You need yeah, and the basic one maybe is Raspbian from Raspberry Pi. Yeah. And that's all. Thank you so much. And I'm here. You have questions. Thank you. Thank you all for the people that is online. For the blink. Sorteo blink. What does it mean? Sorteo blink?
No, I wanted to say sorry, but it was
okay.
it's just blink.
Yeah, I think that Edu is gonna do something for blink. Okay. But if not, I can ask him.
Okay. I will come to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vero. Isabel, any question?
This is run node locally.
No? Okay, guys. So thank you so much. See you next. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Hey,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, I can run Windows 5. I mean, run
Yeah, exactly here. What is that? No, sí, estoy aquí, seguro para eso.
Recording stopped.
Y acabo de parar la grabación.
Server?
Yeah, you can second.